Welcome, everyone. Today we're enjoying a presentation. The title is called Accelerate Your Big Data Service Desk with HPE ITSM Automation Suite. And we'll get started here in just a few seconds, give people some time to get registered into the event. Give it just another 30 seconds or so. It just gives me a little time to kind of go through some of the early slides before we dive in. And this event is brought to you by HPE Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, focused around the software area, obviously. And I will be your moderator today. My name is Rocky Pisto. I'm a chapter and SIG leader focused around the APM space, or ITOM space. I've been a partner for the last 20-some years in this space, so I enjoy working with everyone at Vivint and the community. And today's speakers are Michael Pott, who is the Senior Product Manager at Hewlett-Packard, longtime HPE manager in our space. Scott Knox, who's a Senior Product Manager in the Service Management space for a long time, and Leah Hanna, Technical Marketing at HPE Enterprise. This is a live recording, so it'll be available to all Vivint members after the session for a post-session recording. So if you can't make it today, you'll see the presentation on the Vivint website for you to download. And if you actually did register today, you will get a notice from us with not only the recording of the webinar, but all the detailed answers, questions to answers as well that have come up during this session. And you'll find the information in the question panel. So here's a picture of the webinar control panel around questions. So feel free to ask questions. This is your time to learn as much as you can about this new suite of products, and anything that that's relevant for you to ask this team. Just put in your questions. We'll get to them if we can during, but probably more than likely we will get to the questions at the end of the presentations and demo. And I think with that, I'm going to forward this to Michael.
Yeah, thank you, Rocky. And again, warm welcome from my side. My name is Michael Pott, and I'm in Worldwide Marketing. As Rocky said, we have pretty much to cover today. Before I go into the agenda, I quickly read, or let you read you through that. We are covering some forward-looking statements as part of this presentation, so that is one of the disclaimers. The other disclaimer you will see once the slide advances. Is about confidential information, very similar. And again, you've seen that before, so again, I don't want to waste time and read through that. This also will be part of the PDF that you can download later so that you can carefully read that. So with further ado, let's talk about, you saw that from the title, we have a variety of subjects to cover today: Big Data, Service Desk, ITSM, Automation, the suite. What is this all about? How do these things relate to each other? To answer part of that, I provide an introduction to IT Service Management in the beginning, the Service Desk, and the bigger ITSM picture. After that, I plan to demonstrate, or Scott and Leanne, to tell you the truth, will demonstrate some of the latest Service Manager 9.41 features and benefits, followed by a discussion of the roadmap and future direction of Service Manager and ITSM. The focus on the second half of this webinar then is on what is called the ITSM Automation Suite and the Customer Appreciation Program, again followed by a short demonstration on what this really means. Then at the end we will wrap up the webinar with some key takeaways, point us to more information, and also have some time for Q&A, as Rocky said. Looking at the slide, beside all the latest trends, and I come to that in a second, and developments in the ITSM space, I just found, this one particularly interesting because it says that still 43% of the service desk's resource time is consumed by phone calls, right? And next, by the way, just FYI, is email, also still with 34%. What does that mean related to our webinar today here? As we'll see, this implies there is a huge potential for things like self-services and more efficient support handling, to keep it very general. And what this really means will become clearer during the next, 50, 55 minutes. And big data and automation, as you can guess, will consume a huge part in this discussion. So having that said, from what I hear, talking to partners, customers, peers, is that, throughout the industry, and, you saw that also in different blog articles throughout the web, is what is called a digital transformation underway, with common drivers such as, and I don't go through the whole list, consumerization of IT, big data, and DevOps. And these are, what you see on the right-hand side here, these are all really related to the service desk and ITSM. And these emerging trends and, today's explosion of these new technologies of growing complexity are rapidly changing the expectations of the business, IT, their users, and customers. And at the same time, IT must support more services, more devices, and become faster and more agile, all within challenging budget frames. And I don't have a polling question here at this part in the webinar, but it would be interesting. And if you want, and I really would appreciate that, let me know via the question manager, what other challenges you are facing if they are not on the list. And, I'm also glad to have a discussion offline on these. So moving on. Nevertheless, let me say, the service desk, and this is good, remains the main bridge between the business and end users on one side and IT on the other. But again, to put it in different words, demographics and expectations are changing. For example, as we heard before, the consumerization of IT. With that, users and service desk agents are more and more demanding what I would call a Google-like experience, a service desk that is easy to use and accessible via a range of devices. Users want to help themselves in the first place. Self-services take a huge portion in today's interactions between users and the service desk, as we all can observe. And then users for sure expect faster response times, which directly translates to user satisfaction. But the reality is really often very different today. Slow handling of tickets, too many manual processes, and unknown IT usage, to just name three, lead to a poor user experience and unmet business expectations to conclude the takeaways from that slide. And bad service quality, compliance risk, and users going somewhere else for support are among the consequences of the current realities. And high cost and reduced IT relevance are the business impact, or the impact, if you want, which is inevitable, as a result or as a consequence of that again. So with that, there are really some imperatives as we think for transforming your IT service management, and they directly tie to values and benefits of HPE's Service Desk and ITSM solution. They are around service quality, cost of IT operations, speed and agility, which also includes the responsiveness theme, if you want, the user experience, and reduce risk. And as Scott and Leanne later will demo, big data and automation are some, of the factors that really help you improve along the lines of these imperatives. And with that, again, I don't want to spend too much time on on the value and benefit part, because that will come through again and again when we go through the demo later on. Before I start handing over to Scott 2 or 3 more visuals, what this all means also is that the service desk owners also want to measure what this is all about. What is service quality all about? What does response time and agility mean? And here are a few metrics, if you want, like faster mean time to repair, the ticket volume, customer satisfaction, which again in the end results in fewer agents, or in other words, in agents that can focus on higher level tasks across IT instead of on first or second line support, if you want. And big data, as I said earlier, matters, and I don't want to tell you too much about this here because we will see that. Big data, to give you 3 examples here, really helps the service desk users and agents to leverage the power of unstructured data, like by just taking a picture using a mobile phone in order to open a ticket or a request. And the technology does the rest, which saves a lot of time. And there is more capabilities like this natural language search and knowledge, which can be looked for, by the way, and also presented based on context. For example, the context of a specific ticket, incident, or change. Again, more on that later in the demo. When we talk about IT service management and the service desk, especially in the context of our solution offerings, I think it's a good starting point to get an idea of what this really includes. So at the core, we have the service desk on the left-hand side with things like incident, problem, and knowledge management. But the solution goes far beyond that. It also includes things like task automation, the CMS discovery, IT business analytics, and you name it. So again, I don't want to spend a lot of minutes on this slide, and just give you an idea what ITSM is about, what the big data service desk is about, what the drivers were, the values and benefits. And with that, we really want to go into the details of the solution of the service desk. And I would like to hand over to Scott, who discusses latest Service Manager highlights and provides a demo of some of these capabilities.
Thank you, Michael. Great job. Can you hear me currently?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Thank you. And as we transition, I have to set up my system to show you the correct content. Give me 1 second. That's what I should be showing. Michael, can you see my roadmap and future considerations slide?
Yes, I can see that, Scott.
Beautiful thing. Okay, so welcome everyone. This is Scott Knox, Product Manager. I've been sitting in the same chair for a really, really long time. Hopefully all of you know something about me, and hopefully it's good. And I know many of you, and we've built this session in this presentation, and we've built this roadmap specifically to meet the business needs we believe you are dealing with. And Michael called out many of them. One of the little questions I would have for you is in my next slide, and it should be a polling slide. So, Rocky, can you run this poll for me?
Absolutely. So the polling question is, have you seen the Service Manager roadmap within the last 3 months? So the answers can be a yes, no, or I saw SM 9.41 roadmap, but not the ITSM Automation Suite. And the last one is, I have seen so many roadmaps, I feel like Marco Polo. So let's give everyone a minute here, 30 seconds, to answer that question, and we'll have a poll here for you quickly, and Scott. But yeah, I mean, I've not heard of the Automation Suite, so I mean, I want to discover, and I understand that a lot of the product areas are moving into more suite-oriented and trying to reduce the number of products and more focus on more of a combined solution. So I'm kind of excited to see what the ITSM Automation Suite is all about as well. So I think we're good. Let's show the results of the poll. Here we go. All right. So Scott, like I mentioned earlier, they're great, but I'll give you the details. 26% said yes, they've seen the roadmap in the last 3 months, but the majority, in fact, everyone else has not. So that's 74% have not seen a roadmap in the last 3 months, and that's the only 2 areas that got answers. So I guess it's pretty timely.
And Marco Polo didn't respond at all. That's just not right.
Nothing.
And since I'm on roadmap polling questions, I'm just going to ask people. One of the things for me personally, I believe that there's a tight linkage between service management, the discipline that we all deal with, and security. And so I believe that security operations could be a hugely valuable activity if HP were to deliver some capabilities in that space. So what I would like you to do in the question manager is, if security ops or SecOps is interesting, if you've explored that, if you could just put some comments in the question manager, I would really appreciate that, because that's an area I think we should be exploring, and I would love your insights. Okay, so cool. Let me run on. I'm going to jump through the slides, because I know a lot of you really like to see demos, and so I'm going to do a short Service Manager 941 demo. Along the way, I will pop back into presentation mode to talk about the futures above the 941 release, and we talk about investments and directions, and I think you'll hear some new things. Unless you've heard this roadmap recently, you'll hear some hopefully very exciting news. So obviously we will invest in big data. We are the smart analytics functionalities around hot topics and smart search and so forth. All of those capabilities have been very, very well received. Our early adopters of smart analytics are realizing true value for smart analytics. We have people that are saving 50% of their IT resource time in frontline behaviors because of using smart analytics. We had 2 customers that we were monitoring actively, and between them they saved more than 1,800 man hours in the first 6 months of the year, and I mean, that is a huge result. So we will continue to invest in smart analytics and big data. We will focus on simplifying our interfaces, making it easier, faster for our agents and end users to consume Service Manager. We'll work through some integration and strategies related to solutions, especially related to the SACM solution. I'll talk about that a bit more later on. And we will, of course, work on making it easier for you to upgrade Service Manager. I think we have a polling question later on about versions and which of you have completed the upgrade, but I can tell you, if you are not aware of it, that the majority of our customer base has already transitioned to the 940 release, and generally we see that anybody on 930 finds it fairly easy to get to 940, 941 and above. Finally, we're going to work on some new directions around communications. We'll look at something called ChatOps, and I'll do a brief discussion around that later on at a little more detail. But how do individuals and systems interact with Service Manager? And this is a very important direction and a strategy for us. The Smart Analytics, I'm going to do a simple demo here just to kind of show you the current state of Smart Analytics. But you see here the 3 focus areas as of the 941 release. Smart ticketing, by which we take feeds of input from end users, casual users, portal users, etc., or even mobile users using Service Manager mobile devices, and pass that information into Service Manager where tickets are opened quickly and efficiently to meet those end user needs. We look at Hot Topic Analytics, which is allowing us to look at patterns of text in those big blob fields, those large description, brief description, resolution, activity kinds of fields, and pull out views of focus areas so that customers can do problem management more effectively. And then we'll introduce and take a look at this smart search functionality. We understand that providing a Google-like search experience was highly desirable. We've delivered it in the 941 release, and we will continue to invest in making it easier to find information in Service Manager. We have done a number of different reports. We've embedded them out of the box. I'll go over them in the demo here in 1 second. But fundamentally, the ability for Service Manager reporting in tool is an important focus area for us and for you, and this is in context of Service Manager, not in context of Crystal or other outboard solutions. So with that, what I want to do is I'm going to stop this presentation, and now you should be able to see me and see the reporting screen of Service Manager. So Michael, can you, or Rocky, can you see the Service Manager screen here?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, so here what I'm showing you is the new reporting capabilities. This is the dashboard in Service Manager 941. I could add other dashboards. I could pull up something related to change, or I could go in and look at information related to service levels or surveys and so forth and so on. But I like this particular dashboard. I'm coming back and then get rid of that. I wanted to start with just a simple view of these various reports and show you one of the reporting structures. I could add content if I wanted, but I want to show you what happens if I look at this new 941 based report, and it is something called a calculation report. And so in the past, if you wanted to do a calculation like this one, what is the average handle time of our incidents, interactions, or changes month on month on month, you would have to do the calculations manually yourself, store them either in the ticket or elsewhere, and then report on the data outboard. In the new system, as you'll see here, we have the ability to do a calculation of the phase of operation and do an average calculation on that handle time and display it week on week on week. And as a result of all of this, the system stores it, it knows what we're needing to display, and life is good, we can carry on. And putting that away, we can go back, and this is the resulting chart. You can do this in any of the modules. You have pretty complete control over the kinds of calculations you want to run and so forth. Now, having said all of that, what I can show you here is the linkage between the Service Manager reports and the Smart Analytics engine. And I usually start here by saying that the reporting engine looks at what we call structured data, the rows and columns of information, as you see here at the top, right? ticket, IM 10,014, the priority, severity, urgency, status, CI, blah, 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 blah. You guys get that. We can query on that, and typically we can query on that information if we know how to find the information we're looking at. If our agent knows to look for deadline alert status, they can find the information. But what we've added with big data and smart analytics is this new ability that says, I would like to look more deeply at the information, and I would like to look at the unstructured data that's contained. So here it says not email notification sent when request breach SLA, or in the proposed solution there may be content, or in the activities records there's content, and so forth. And we are giving you now two primary ways to look at that data and use it in operations to make the teams more efficient. So as an example here, I can click on suggested solutions, and I can see now across the various tables in Service Manager a problem associated with this text. I can see knowledge documents, incidents, I can see known errors and interactions that are similar, and I have the ability to create filtering to say, look at that only in the past week, or I could add additional libraries. I could, in fact, show information related to external SharePoints and so forth. And since I'm going to be running out of time, I'm going to just jump over this, run off, and go back to my dashboard. And I'm going to show you that I could, from my record list that we see here, I have a number of tickets that are structured content, like we talked about, but I can now do a query and tell the system to run Hot Topic Analytics against that. And what I find is that in these tickets identified by this structured query, I have topic areas that are particularly interesting. I have electricity related, I have email related tickets, and so forth. And I can drill into any of these. I can find the tickets that are related to them, or I could in fact look at all the tickets in this particular area and then select them, and in a single pass create a problem record for assessment by the team. And for the sake of time, I don't want to spend any focus there. I'll jump out again, but in this one pass, I've now been able to look at the unstructured content, find a candidate for problem assessment by our problem management team, and hand that back to them and hand it off. Just a couple of other quick topics. I want to point out that we have a chat capability available from the agent in Service Manager 941 to communicate with others. We have survey functionalities in this release. We have improvements around how the catalog works and so forth. And with that, what I want to do is I want to drop back in and move back over to my presentation and kind of walk through the slides about the future of the roadmap. And I'll start here. Rocky, yeah, I was just about to ask that. Thank you. So what you're seeing here, this is the standard roadmap for Service Manager 941, but most of you are probably saying, what is a ChatOps and why do I care and how come I haven't heard about this before? And basically ChatOps is one of our key focus areas. We believe that increasingly work is happening in conversations among various groups, various users in Skype or in chat or in collaboration engines like we talked about in Service Manager 941. And what we're seeing is that customers want to take that information, have these big chat conversations, pull that information down and use it once they've resolved an issue. And the classic example of the ChatOps agenda would be a major incident. Here, basically, what we're seeing is that the core banking system in this customer has failed for some reason, and that the team got together to chat about this, and they used something called a chat room rather than Skype. It's a persistent chat room. We are using in this discussion something called a Slack room, which is a shared instance SaaS hosted chat conversation activity. People are invited to contribute to the Slack room. You have ongoing conversations as you might in Skype and inside the chat room. And then the interesting part of this, and the piece that we've built, and it's available on Live Network, is an ability to link this chat room or Slack room in this discussion with Service Manager or Service Anywhere or other HP tools. We could, for example, want to have someone open an incident in Service Manager or view that major incident from Service Manager. And so this thing called a HUBot, which is just a fun name, you say that 10 times fast. So the HUBot or HUBot will reach out to Service Manager, bring back the content for the ticket, and expose it in the chat room. We could equally ask our HUBot to go out and do a site scope event and pull back information. We could ask our bot to go do a top on some of the servers. And all of this happens from inside the chat room, and then once that chat is complete, we have the ability to push individual content, or in this case, all the content from this Slack room chat conversation back into Service Manager, where we can do governance and compliance against it. We could, for example, do one of those problem management assessments against the chat content that had been captured. So this is all new. I don't want to spend a lot of time here, but just be alert that we will continue to focus, we'll continue to communicate about ChatOps, chat capabilities, and you'll see more and more information about this. And then before I move on, I'll give you one last little story. One of our early adopters in our customer advisory council at the University of Pretoria was one of our design partners on our ChatOps agenda. He had started using Slack rooms, was evaluating Slack rooms, and at the university they had a major incident where the testing software at the university failed globally, and they used this Slack room to pull people together and solve the issue with that testing system. They said it was shockingly easy to use the Slack room and educate everyone about what was happening, to use the bots, and they used various bots in this discussion, and that they found solving the issue with their Slack room conversation was just a huge value, and they believe that they probably saved 50% of the time necessary to return the testing system to service than they had anticipated. So there you go. That's ChatOps. We did our live demo. I feel very special about that. And now I'm going to talk to you in slightly different. We're doing our roadmap a little bit differently this time. We want to focus on areas of investment and strategies as opposed to tactical investment themes. We'll go over some of those tactical pieces, but I want to at least let you know the high-level big stones, as we call them, that we're working on. And you guys can read the slide. I'll talk about each of these areas specifically, but our directions include these topics. So one of these areas is virtual agents and bots. And just to kind of catch you up a little bit, and if you didn't know this part, when you get asked to a chat conversation in many software products, oftentimes you are not actually chatting with an individual, you are chatting with an agent, a virtual agent, or a bot that has been programmed to ask you the right questions and then script through the responses. We're going to offer you the capability to use that technology in Service Manager and in our portal solutions to ease pressure on the front line and the level 0, level 1 agents. We'll do prescriptive analytics. We'll use our big data technologies in new areas. One of those is about prescriptive analytics. How could I predict the likelihood of service breach, SLA breach, and list that information in the dashboards, or list that prediction of SLA breach in the queues and views for your agents. We'll also look at things like, can I look at the probability of success of my changes based on criteria? And remember, when we talk about these analytics, we're looking at historical patterns of insight in Service Manager and bringing that forward and exposing it for you. Next, we'll do automation. We'll build out an improvement around email, inbound email particularly. We'll allow that inbound email to link up with smart analytics, and as you're seeing here on the left side, provide back insights to agents and others, end users, about potential candidates, potential corrections, and so forth. We'll leverage the ChatOps agenda as we move forward, and then we'll look at various automation solutions for using operations orchestration, universal discovery, and other automation tools to link with Service Manager, make your agents more effective. And then what I like to say is, if I make your frontline more effective, that allows them to focus on other areas like knowledge documents, like automation scripts, and so forth. We'll work on new user interfaces and mobile applications, real mobile apps, as opposed to HTML5 mobile as we have today. Create real mobile apps and give you new portals and new, improved, streamlined user experience. I'm going to talk about this slide in just a second, but basically understand that we are going to focus on solutions. We will spend a lot of our investment in the directions and strategies that will allow us to link products such as operations orchestration, Service Manager, Asset Manager, our configuration management system, CMS, and IT Business Analytics in new ways, make them work out of the box, deliver them as solutions quickly and efficiently so you can adopt them and use the technologies and the real values of the integrated suite. We will work on some new improvements, a modernization of the technologies. On the right, what you'll see here is containerization, new ways to make it easier for you to consume Service Manager and the Service Management Suite, and also to drive the cost of ownership out of Service Manager. Sorry, lots of words. As we press forward. And finally, I'll kind of just talk here about the next release. We are actively working on the next release. It will come out shortly. Many of you have already heard the dates for this next release. It's called the Provence release. It will deliver a new Service Manager service portal based on Propel technology. It will deliver end-user chat. We'll do more with our big data engine, and as you see here at the bottom, we'll focus on the ITSM solution, new directions, and new strategies. Okay, a quick polling question, Rocky.
Okay, we'll have it up here in just a second. Here we go. So the question is, which area of the roadmap strategy are you most excited by? And the options are more smart analytics, service portal based on Propel technology, ChatOps and bots. So I am concerned about Skynet, platform modernization, and the last one is I'm so ready for the whatever that acronym is, SHACM, okay, and solution agenda extension. So those are the options to understand how excited you are about this strategy. But you know, from what I'm seeing, Scott, is that we're leveraging technologies that HP already owns, you know, like in big data, Propel, and some of these other areas to add and improve the quality of the analytics side of what we're doing. And I hear every day in our relationship with customers, they're all looking for more analytics from everywhere. So should be interesting in this space. So let's, Terry, let's see what we got here as far as results on this survey. Here we go. So 28% are interested in the ChatOps and bots conversation. 22% is more smart analytics. 22% service portal based on Propel. 17% is platform modernization. I got to imagine that's always a hot topic, especially with Service Manager being around as long as it has and customers owning it for a long, long time. They're always looking to make sure that gets more improvements. And 11%, I'm so ready for the SACM solution. SACM.
Yes, SACM.
Okay. SACM. There you go.
Solutions, Asset, and Configuration Management. Okay.
Okay.
And I am now increasingly concerned about Skynet and with the problems that's going to generate, but we'll still do bots. Sorry, I'm entertaining. I'm entertaining us. Okay, fine. Next. Sorry. Tell Leanne stop laughing at me. Okay, so CAPN Solutions. So these are my last two slides, and Leanne is going to be ramping up because I'm running probably a little bit long. But so we believe that Smart Analytics is a huge value for the customers that can adopt it. Our plan is to put in place a new appreciation program for you as customers by which you can get to Smart Analytics, get on the latest version, and start to realize real savings and real value. Michael threw this 50% number on the screen, and based on real customer data from real early adopters, multiple customers are now saying, hey, I put Smart Analytics in place, it's yielding huge results. So one of the things we will be doing as we move forward, I believe we're going to put together another version of this Vivid webinar on kind of how to do Smart Analytics and what the real value props are that will help you justify the acquisition of Smart Analytics as a license set. But in addition to telling you how to adopt it, we're also going to make it more consumable. Your sales teams have seen this information. They are preparing for conversations around the Customer Appreciation Program, or CAP. And basically what the idea is that all of us have these module level licenses, and often these module level licenses are out of sync with each other, and we often need to add modules of change because we don't have enough, or we have more than enough help desk but not enough KM and so forth. We also realize that all of you want Smart Analytics, and I have yet to meet a customer who says, no, I don't care about that stuff. So what we've done is packaged a solution together for you that says, if you are able to acquire smart analytics and your sales teams have new incentives and discounting capabilities around smart analytics, they can come to you with a price for smart analytics. And when you go through that process, we will uplift you to the IT Service Management Automation Suite, the Express Edition, as you'll see it here, and I'll show you what that means in just a second, with all of the licenses aligned, and for this discounted price of Smart Analytics, you will end up in a much better place. You'll see that you have simplified pricing, that you get Smart Analytics for all of your users. All of your users are now aligned. You'll have an easier pathway, easier concern remediation for governance and compliance for audit purposes and so forth. And there's more content out there. If you're interested in the CAP program, speak to your sales teams, but the sales teams and partners will be reaching out to you actively to talk about how you can take advantage of this appreciation program. If for some reason you're not able to find the right people, send a note to me or to Michael, and we can get you started in the program. Okay, so I know that was really fast. Just another quick polling question, Rocky. Can you see if people are interested in this CAP program?
And the poll is up, and the options are yes, I'm interested in participating in the Customer Appreciation Program. Not at this time. I am not on a version that supports Smart Analytics. The last one is I am already reaching out to my sales team. So let's give that about 30 seconds. Did they get that? Did they get the free hat?
No.
Oh, okay.
The free cap. It's a cap.
Cap. I'm sorry.
I invented that.
Well, you know, when you go to Discover, you can get a picture of yourself, at least the last couple, where you're holding up the green rectangle, which is now part of the HP Enterprise logo. That's a picture of you with the logo. So, you know, I think it'd be kind of cool to have caps with the logos, especially for your customer. So, Terry, let's see what we got for results here on this poll. Sorry, Scott, nobody's interested. No, I'm just kidding. 39% said yes, I'm interested in being part of the program. 50% said no, not at this time. Probably not at a state to be in a version to support that. 11% said I am currently reaching out to our sales rep. So, you know, we're 50-50 roughly. Yes, no, maybe. So, just to give you a feel for where that is at.
Perfect. And then I will just press on. There's a classic Scott joke there that I'm not going to throw in here. I am pressing on now to the ITSM's Blueprint and Automation Suite. And so just for what it's worth, I want you all to know that we are delivering new licensing capabilities for these two suites. You see them here. One is the Service Manager Express Edition, which is basically Service Manager, Smart Analytics, and UCMDB as it is today. All of the modules are aligned at the same level, and it does include Smart Analytics. The Premium Edition is going to have Service Manager, Asset Manager, CMS, UCMDB, and Universal Discovery, and it seems to be missing one here, Automated Service Modeling, and then from the CMS team, and then Operations Orchestration and ITBA. And basically, we will sell these two suites in quantities of 10 packs with fairly noticeable discounts at the list price level, and then you can add units of either users or 50 packs of these 50 node packs of universal discovery, operations orchestration, 10 packs of automated service modeling, and so forth, so that now you are delivering a solution as opposed to simply a series of point products. And beyond that, I'll tell you, this is a huge driver by our management, and they've asked us to make this real. And what we mean by make it real in this discussion is make all the products work together seamlessly, remove the cost of standing up the solution so you can use OO with Service Manager change in graceful ways, deliver some best practice, deliver new documentation, allow our support teams to deal with you when you have a suite solution as opposed to a point product solution, and so forth. So the bottom line to all of that is that HP is moving to a solution delivery point of view from a single point product point of view, and we intend to fully make it real. And on that note, what I want to do is hand it off to Leanne, who is going to look at one of the examples of how make it real, make the solution real, comes about. With that, Leanne, it's over to you.
All right, thank you, Scott. Let me just push the button. Right, I'm pushing the button. Hello everyone, my name's Leanne Hanna. Some of you know me, some of you may not know me. I'm in the same team as Michael Pott in the ITOM product marketing team, and I specialise in the ITSM and the Service Manager area. So what I would like to do today is very quickly, as fast as I possibly can, is show a cool little example of some automation with ITSM, and it's employee onboarding, where we have a manager, and we'll use Amy Lopez, who's my favourite business user. She's going to log a request to add a new user who's joining the company. And what we'll see is we'll see Service Manager with some automation using the HPE Operations Orchestration go ahead and add the new user, whose name is Bob, into Service Manager, add an email as well, and then it will send an email to Amy, and what that will then do is allow Bob, when he starts, to log in. So let me get out of there and let me bring up my screen. And what I have here is the service portal, and let's just say I'm logged on as Amy, who's our business user. She has a new person starting, so it's Bob Brown. And with the big data search capability in the service portal, she starts typing new employee, and straight away it comes up with new employee onboarding. She chooses this particular request once it actually comes up, and fills in the particular details about Bob. So it has a 2-day delivery time, the first name is Bob, the last name is Brown, and the department where he's going to be starting in is Amy's team, which is in North America, and it's the marketing team. And the effective start date, let's pop it to Monday. So Bob's going to be joining the company on Monday. She goes ahead and requests it. There's a little bit more information that she needs to enter for the onboarding team. She wishes to be contacted by email and clicks on the submit button. So what this has now done, it's logged a request inside Service Manager, and by clicking the status, Amy can see that it's waiting for approval from Sam, who is the approver of all the service desk requests that come in. So I'll just minimize this screen. Now Sam is our approver, and he's mobile at the moment. He's using the mobility client on his smartphone because he's in and out of meetings. He logs in because he's seen an email come through for the request for the new employee from Amy. And he goes down into his pending approval queue, and he sees the request has come through from Amy. He can go and view it, but just for this little demo, I'm going to click on the Approve button. So Sam has gone ahead and has approved the onboarding request for Bob Brown. What that's now done is it's automatically sent an email which has gone to the support admin team. And Belinda, I'll just bring up one last browser. Belinda Morris is our request person. She's received an email on behalf of her team, and she goes ahead and logs into Service Manager. Where she starts with her home screen is at the Request Overview dashboard. And she actually doesn't quite see it yet, but if I push the refresh button, she will see in just a moment the new request that's come in for this employee onboarding. Now I am waiting for a little background process to run. All right, so here it is. It's appeared in her queue. She's in the support admin team. She clicks on the request and has a look at it and sees that it's new employee onboarding for Bob. She assigns it to herself and then has a look down in the workflow section and can see it's at the logging phase presently, but she knows once it moves to the fulfillment phase, some automation kicks off and an automated task is actually run. And if I go and have a look at the tasks section, we actually see that Belinda sees that this is where the task will run when it's in the fulfillment phase. And what it will actually do is it will take the inputs that were entered by Amy, which we see here for Bob Brown for that particular department, and it will go ahead and automatically add Bob into Service Manager. So to move it through to the fulfillment phase, Belinda goes ahead and clicks on the Submit for Approval, because what we have here is we have an authorization phase, but she knows that the authorization has already been done at the front end by Sam on the service desk approval. Okay, so if we go and have a look at the workflow, we see that, or Belinda sees that the request has actually gone to the fulfillment phase. So she expects when she goes to the tasks section that the task will have actually started. She sees the task has a green color now and it has a little icon to show that it is automated. And when Belinda clicks on the task, it takes her straight into the request task, and she takes a look at its workflow and can see that it's already at the completion phase. So she actually knows that the automation has already run to go and add Bob, the new employee. And to see that and double check it, she goes to the activities section and can see that there's an activity from operations orchestration. And clicking on this activity, she can actually see that it's a successful task that's been run, and in fact can go further, go and click on Open the Report, and it takes her into operations orchestration to have a look at the runbook automation. And what this has done is it's shown that, if I make this screen a little bigger, the automation has gone and created the email account for Bob. It's created the service management contact and operator. Then it's sent an email out to Amy, who's the business manager, and Amy's received that email. And what that means is when Bob joins on Monday, Bob will be able to log straight in. Now, what Belinda would go ahead and do right now is close the task, but just for time, let me just come back to the service request catalog, and let's say Monday's come around, Bob Brown comes into the office, Amy gives Bob his details, and Bob is able to successfully log straight into the service portal. So there's a little example of IT service management automation, right from the business user logging a service request from a new employee, the automation within Service Manager, and also the task using operations orchestration. So there's a little example of it. Okay, Michael, I am going to hand back over to you, and with that, I will take you back to the slide for the key takeaways.
Thank you, Leanne. Great demo. Yeah, to make it short, and by the way, we can run a couple of minutes more for those who have some more time because we really want to get to some of the questions that I saw in the question manager. So bear with me. The questions we won't get to today, you will get answers offline via email. Long story short, I don't talk about the 5 values and benefits on the right hand again, but let me at least summarize the 3 key takeaways on the left. One is around big data. And by the way, we have customers who also use latest Service Manager 4.1 dashboard and reporting capabilities, especially the time-based reporting that Scott demonstrated to measure how fast and how these response and fix times get and what the ROI is. So this is real. And if you look to the resources slide and check some of the videos there that point you to YouTube or infographics, you see that big data, number one, really gives you efficiency gains. It really gets you there very fast, very quickly. So this is not yet another technology on standard database technology. This is really big data technology that is being embedded and integrated, so HPE has the pleasure to have both, right? Like HPE idle technology and service desk technology, and this is where you really can benefit from. Number 2, automation. That's what Leanne just showed, and I leave it there. It really helps you to eliminate or reduce manual error-prone tasks and processes. And number 3, in order to get you there, help you get you there in an easy and very attractive manner, we have what is called the Customer Appreciation Program. So with that, I want to thank you. You have a pointer here on more information as well as on the next slide. And once you receive the PDF, you can follow these links to get to more information, also more videos on big data if you want to dig deeper and things like that. So thanks from my side, and I think we can open up for Q&A then in a sec.
Okay, Michael, it's Rocky, and I can kind of take over the Q&A if that's where we're going. And I'm not sure if there's any other slide or if that was the last slide from your side, but we've got a few questions that we'd like to get to. One of them was Service Portal, is that already in Propel based solution? And from what I can tell, it looked like it, but if you guys can answer that, that would be great.
So Scott, do you want me?
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to say, I was trying to get off mute. So the question is this Propel-based IT Service Manager Service Portal currently based on Propel or not? And the answer is that the versions of the product today can work with Propel, with traditional Propel. I have customers around the world actually linking Service Manager 940 and 941, even 935 with Propel, but we will be delivering a new Service Manager Service Portal in the next release that is specific for Service Manager based on Propel technology, and that release has not yet been deployed. We're still in the build process, and many of you may actually be involved in the beta testing and review cycles.
That's great. Good to know that it's coming completely for SM. And one of the questions that was answered, at least online, was, can you clarify what versions of SM support smart analytics? And it looks like it's 9.34, 9.4 to 9.41 and above. So that's good to know where that is. And let's see, I think I've got a couple early on questions here. Let me just double check. So, back to the Customer Appreciation Program, who qualifies for that?
So for this discussion, all customers that want to get to smart analytics are certainly candidates. Generally speaking, everyone qualifies. There are some very small customers that may need exception handling. But for this discussion, assume everyone qualifies for the appreciation program, everyone currently on support. And then as to the statement about version, the people above 934 are the ones that will be first able to take advantage.
Okay. What is the price of the upgrade from the Customer Appreciation or CAT program?
So this depends on what what modules you have and how many licenses you have. Because it's a price-related topic, I hand it off to the partners or the sales teams to drill in. If any customer is interested, let us know. We can get you very definitive pricing based on exactly what your install base report looks like or what licenses you have.
So I'm assuming that based on the two suites, you take a combination of the products they currently own or are licensed for, and you can upgrade to the current version of that product, which might be the one suite or the other.
Correct. And then if a customer said, I would like to go all the way to the premium suite from the current module pricing, we have ways for that to happen as well. And they're easy, and our whole point is to make it not only valuable but also easy to accomplish.
Great. So I think that kind of answers the question that I had. Can I upgrade my licenses directly from ITSMA Express Suite to Premium Suite? So I'm sure there's an upgrade path for that.
Yep, exactly so.
Yeah, let's see if I've got anything else. I think, I'm not sure if we want to have an answer for this, but I've got one from Joe Madden, one of your great partners. And what if you've already bought the Smart Analytics product? I think you probably just own it and it's part of the suite.
That's actually an interesting question. If you are a customer or partner that owns the Smart Analytics suite already, send me a mail, because we'll want to kind of process that. There are grandfathering clauses in place. So scott.knox@hpe.com.
Great. And I just got one more question because we've got just another minute here. Will the automation work with other automation tools like Microsoft SSCM?
My understanding, yes. The automation linkages are via web service. They make calls, they pass parameters. We, that I know of, have not done the in-depth alignment with SCCM or other automation tools, but it certainly, in my mind, is a configurable capability, and it will be one of the things we will review as we move forward. Leanne, would you agree with that? Does that sound right to you?
Yeah, that sounds good, and I'm also just going to take a note of that as well. But I think I would say yes.
Okay, thank you.
Guys, that's all one more just kind of popped in. Is version 9.50 still on target for release during Q3?
So as product managers, we're very sensitive about setting expectation for future delivery. There's HP rules about that, but at 35,000 feet, the answer to this question is affirmative.
Great. Okay.
And probably a better way to say that is that we are in late stage beta on the Provence release. How about that?
Is it going to be released in Nice, France, or anything?
Nice.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Good reference. Some of you on the call will get that.
I think we're done. That's all the questions we have. Great session, and we'll end it at this. And everyone, again, you'll be getting a short survey to fill out once you hang up. And again, thanks for attending today's webinar. And everyone that was not on the call will get a copy of this presentation as a recorded webinar. And with that, have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.